Oh, hello. This is Dustin Nichol from the Unspun Unwound Podcast, Episode 1. Alright, we got a great conversation today with Lennon McGillivray. Sorry if I butchered your name, buddy. I never knew your last name other than through Facebook and otherwise, so sorry. But I had a great conversation. You can find Subterranean on Reverb Nation. Otherwise, you can find me at www.unspunentertainment.com. You can link to our blog, our podcast, whatever. Very bottom of every page is an Amazon banner. Click through that, do your shopping, and we'll get a little bit of a cut. So if you want to support us a little bit, Amazon shop through there. Without further ado, I'm going to show you guys Breaking Bread from Subterranean's Digital Age album, track numero 1. After this, we'll be having a great conversation with Lennon. It was pretty much an hour and 20 minutes. I felt bad mentioning the time because my ears were getting sore from headphones, but whatever. Alright. Breaking Bread. Track 1, Subterranean on their Digital Age album. Subterranean's a great group. Lennon's a smart dude. Have fun. See you soon. And just bear with me as I get to recording these by myself. Grow with us.
Feather never flock like this. Highly irregular, down through the letter. Mastered the craft of rap on his hand. Setting bluff long enough, now I'll show my hand and reach out. It's about mass appealing. Spotlight stealing, glasses to the ceiling. I've been keeping good company. Like minds of different kinds are all one to me, that's what I said. My kinfolk are widespread. Mavericks in the web of society's fabric. I wouldn't have it any other way. It don't matter what the critics say. Straight from the pack and I can't go back. So come sand and snow, I'll be making tracks. Since I got a knack for this rapping stuff. And nobody's even gotta be acting tough. Just strut to the sound the music makes. This joint's at a point, it's about to break. But don't panic, this is more than a trend. It's the flow with the mainstream starting to bend. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. We're just breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. We keep breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. We're just breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Another cliche white boy trying to rap. Reaching for the same cachet you crap. And take scribbled words that tickle your nerves. Plus rhythms that make women wiggle the curves. It's a combination you can't dispute. A recipe guaranteed to get them knocked to boots. Even if I went mute, I continue to rhyme. Adapt in no time and just rap and sign. The unconfounded, shockingly astounded. A live wire that can't be grounded. On the floor twitching, tweaking and itching. Assume the position to catch what I'm pitching. On a mission to meet the neighbors. These days it seems everyone's a stranger in the hood. Can I get it here? Kick it to the roof with the primal cheer. And the cup's looking too clear, fill it on up. And if it runneth over, then give it a dump. And that's one for the homies that came before. I give a pour in memorial up to the floor. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. We're just breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. We keep breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. We're just breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Breaking bread instead of hearts and hands. Spit that gangster shit. I'm looking for a style that feels more legit. So this here hippie hop that I've done. A little something for my fellow shrubs, West Coasters. We don't gotta be boasters. The proof is in the street full of peeps from all over. There's no room for your prejudice. It's just something that we don't express. Instead, we just have a session. Smoke, drink, and exchange of life lessons. Without question, we got it made. Laid back and in the summer shade. Some will say our style is lazy, unaccustomed to a life less crazy. It don't faze me when I yoda, and you can tell by the sweet aroma in the room. Token, typical spoken wordsmith, on point and at your service with a purpose to empower your wallflowers every single minute, hour after hour. Breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. Breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. We're just breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. Breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. We keep breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. Breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. We're just breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. Breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. Still breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. Breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. We keep breaking bread instead of hearts and heads. Breaking bread instead of hearts and heads.
Hit record. Luckily,
Yeah.
these are condenser microphones, so like 6 to 8 inches away is kind of nice.
Cool.
But yeah, Lennon is in the house. Unspun Unwound Podcast.
There you go.
Episode 1. We're going to do this.
All right.
But yeah, Lennon, what do you actually have going?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm just writing stuff, getting ready. I want to do a mixtape or a EP, something like that. So just writing some new material right now.
Yeah, because I've always seen you like downtown, everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, always doing something, and it's like either you have a guitar.
Yeah.
First time I saw you do hip hop was down like the Spinning Ninny,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was like, holy shit. Okay, I'll talk to this guy later. Like, if
Yeah.
I ever do a party, then you're gonna end up like you can grab the mic whenever,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Cool.
full permission kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like playing like out in the street like that too, where you just get people passing by and, stop and listen type of thing. And it's good times. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to actually get another acoustic. Like right now we're down to my roommate's classical, and then he has like an Explorer with his Marshall amp right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know, I got out of it after a little while. I dated Black Alley. And then it was just like we got into the rave scene like heavily.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then kind of got out of it.
Yeah.
But it's all relative. Like, I'd like to see what those D-Block guys have going on, but
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I've done that show. It's a pretty good setup they got going on there. Heaps of gear, and they're pretty good guys.
Yeah, they have like a whole PK setup, don't they?
I think so. I don't really know. I just play the music.
Mm.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll put this up here so I don't just keep bashing the table.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've been doing a lot of jamming lately, just more casual stuff. Just hitting up wherever, whenever I can. Bring my guitar, do that kind of thing right now lately. That's what I've been doing. Yeah.
I know, I've been just starting to get gigs, like probably do the wine bar April 30th, I think is the day.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's like way in the future. Now I gotta like pay for this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But it would be cool to just like get more and more people together, get a downtown thing going. Like,
That would be fun.
fuck, if you ever wanted to do a block party.
Yeah. Much needed.
I'm 1 amp away from having just like the monitors, the sub, and then a pair of like 600 watts each cabinets.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I think Duncan is in sore need of a block party.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Downtown Business Association, I love them or hate them, but like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
kind of old school.
Yeah, exactly. It's more something you got to approach, like an individual business or something about. The garage would be good.
Yeah.
Talk to those guys or the Spinning Ninny people.
Yeah, Lara's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually want to get her recording something with random people too, because she always has people coming through.
Totally. Yeah.
And she has her upstairs studio space where she does belly dance classes and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, very interesting person. Like, just so, like, probably a better host or anything that I would ever be.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, the sad thing that is I'm going to be the constant through everything.
Yeah, yeah. she can contribute.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's just people have to hear my voice, whatever.
Yeah, they can deal.
I'll just, like, put some compressor on it, like, make it sound all
There you go.
nicer.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, make it sound more Marvin Gaye. Like,
Or Barry White. You need to get that nice baritone going on. Baritone, maybe?
baritone.
Yeah.
Baritone sax.
Yeah.
Fuck. I actually saw this cool YouTube video. I'll have to show it to you maybe after. I'll eventually get like a soundboard hooked up so I can have stuff playing through it.
Yeah.
But it was the U.S. Army like marching band just interviewing this like music specialist about these old saxophones that kind of went out of went out of style or didn't get into production.
Yeah.
Some of them were so cool. There was slide saxophones. There was like giant ones.
Nice.
Little ones. Looked like clarinets and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you into like the jazz and funk
yeah.
and stuff?
Yeah. I like funk. You know, I play the drums and I find that funk is like definitely my favorite style to play on the drums. And reggae too is always fun.
Yeah. That's one thing I never really could get, being like super white, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it was just like coming in on that second beat.
It's all on the downbeat. Yeah.
And then sometimes I could get it, sometimes I couldn't.
Once you're in the groove, it's just totally natural. It's a real, like, it's works with the natural rhythms, you know, of the body. And yeah, it's a cool style to play. Once it clicks, it's just, you get in the groove with it and it just happens. It's a blast. Totally. Yeah.
See that? Do you have drum mics and stuff for your own recording? Or
no, I don't have any drum mics or
See,
anything.
I'm gonna eventually get like the whole setup. I'd love to get into that. Like get a nice giant mixing board and like compressor, limiter gates, and just have like I probably more so for the looks of everything, because now everything you can do on the computer.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still, you know what? I mean, they can sample the shit out of stuff and put it on the computer all they want, you know, but it doesn't beat the real thing.
Yeah.
You know, having an organic kit mic'd, you know, it's got its own, everybody's kit sounds different type of thing. And, you know, I don't think you can beat it, you know. Same with, like, you can have, it's like using loops or something like that too, you know. Like you can get a million loop samples together and make a whole album out of loops, but it's just not the same as live tracks. You know? Yeah.
I've really noticed that, but well, especially between like DJing everything, like mostly electronic beats, because it's so easy.
Yeah.
And then just listening to vinyl, or even just like copying it over and like mixing into it, it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I have like 8 bars to mix, because their drummer might slow down just by like a
Totally.
little bit before they break into the next phrase.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And it's like, okay.
I like to hear something and know it was made by humans.
Yeah.
You know, basically. Yeah.
That's where I'd like to actually do recording with like loops and stuff, but actually mic guitars, mic pianos.
Yeah, make live loops.
Yeah.
That's what we did for Digital Age when Subterranean, when we did our record, got the live band in there, and basically everybody laid down their part, and then we just took loops of each part, you know, drums, bass, guitar, keyboards type of thing, and just put it together, and turned out really good.
Yeah. Do you have any links or anything, or do you have music posted?
Yeah, we're on Reverb Nation. You can check out some tracks on there. Yeah. I got a YouTube channel. Just put in Subterranean Endgame, and you'll get a couple of videos. You know, it's not the easiest to find. It's kind of buried in the internet somewhere, but
I'll
Facebook too. We're on
get
Facebook.
all those links from you, I guess, and I'll just post them in the episode notes.
That's the best way. Otherwise, trying to find them, you'll be like excavating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube's impossible.
Oh, yeah. There's so much stuff on there, right?
Yeah. I forget what I heard one day. It was like every day there's like almost a year of video put out.
Of uploads.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put in Subterranean on YouTube, you're going to have to fish through like about 1 million different Subterranean Homesick Blues, by Bob Dylan videos, basically.
That's right.
That different
and, like,
people
covers
have made.
And
Yeah.
There's some cool covers though on YouTube.
There are.
Like even like the silly ones, kazoo ukulele.
Yeah.
The final countdown where he's playing the kazoo and the ukulele. And it's just like this kind of nerdy looking guy, but
that's brilliant.
Beautiful. Yeah,
that's really brilliant stuff. I like it when people do that. Yeah. I've got a couple of videos like that up too on YouTube, just ad-libbing songs with the guitar and just making it up as I go, type of thing.
See, that would be actually kind of fun. Like,
yeah.
Even for like a podcast, like I'd like to get like a shotgun mic and just kind of set it up in the middle of a room.
Yeah.
And just have people drinking and like
if
you hear like the ice clinking in the glass, that adds to the romance of it. And
that's
just like
right.
Playing guitar, bullshitting.
Yeah.
And then just mic someone else, I guess, to host it.
So there's been a lot of good music made that way. Just getting a band in the studio, after they, have them party it up and just, there's the instruments, set up some mics, let them go at it. I was listening to CBC yesterday while I was driving around, and they were playing a jazz show of some kind. And I might have been Vinyl Tap or something like that. Anyhow, in the song they were playing, I can't remember what it was called now, but the story behind it was the band that recorded it got super ripped on acid, and they were too high to do anything. So the producer finally was like, we need to get some booze in here to bring these guys down a little bit so they can actually play some music, because they're just not doing anything here. They're just talking or whatever, who knows. So they brought in this crate of whatever they could find, and they basically drank that, and that's how they recorded the track, and it's like a totally awesome tune. I wish I could remember the name of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Makes the whole story kind of pointless that I can't remember the name, but
whatever, those kind of stories are awesome. Even like Smoke on the Water has reference to Frank Zappa and the Wombats, like burning down that studio.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's fucking rock and roll, man.
That's right.
But yeah, there's a Doug Stanhope joke, like comedian, and he talks about how today's generation is just too pussified.
Yeah, totally.
And like there's Justin Bieber pissing in a mop bucket now.
Yeah.
When it's just like, well, Led Zeppelin was throwing TVs out the window of the hotel.
Totally.
While their drummer was like face down in the pool.
Yeah. Or who is that band? I can't think of them now. They had Pamela Anderson's husband or whatever, Tommy Lee.
Oh yeah.
They're like notorious for just getting so hammered, and Motley Crue.
Yeah, Motley Crue.
Yeah. They lived up to their name for sure. Like just getting totally wasted and like trashing hotel rooms in the whole 9 yards. And today's pop stars they're pop stars, right? They're not rock stars.
Well, that was like that was more so back when music, like, I guess the bosses and stuff were looking for good music, not who's making money.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I was watching, actually it was on YouTube where Frank Zappa was, an old interview with Frank Zappa, and he was saying that the music industry was better when it was a bunch of cigar chomping old guys, sitting around being like, oh, this Jimi Hendrix dude, it's, the psychedelic music, whatever. This is interesting. Let's just put it out there and see what happens. They weren't so concerned about the money aspect or the sound or you know the 120 beats per second or per minute or whatever situation. They just wanted the experimental stuff was allowed to just people were allowed to just do their thing, and the producers were happy with that. You know, it was a more democratic way.
Yeah, and kind of let the market speak for itself.
Yeah, this is what people want, and this is what people like. Whereas now, that's sort of more of it's more formulaic, you know. Yeah. Yeah,
it's weird that way because it seems as long as you have like some good looking, like video did kill the radio star.
Totally. Yeah.
Everyone always says that.
Yeah, it's right though.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, you get a lot of these people who are out there, and you know, they look good, and they sound good. I don't know. I mean, all the technology is at their disposal to tweak everything to make them sound, you know, as close to perfect as they can get it, right? So who knows how much talent any of these people really have.
Actually, I listened to like this cool mini podcast about how auto-tune works.
Yeah.
And most people are doing auto-tune nowadays. Like,
yeah.
I think Nelly Furtado was one of those people who famously never had to auto-tune her voice.
Yeah.
And then apparently after that was said, she did like an auto-tune album.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I've heard a rumor that Lil Wayne uses auto-tune.
Don't say.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
T-Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cher, and they had like
and
the whole
Cher too. Yeah.
She kind of like her producer made it famous.
That's right.
And he didn't let anyone know about it for so long, and then eventually T-Pain figured it out.
Yeah, how he got that.
And then started charging people to use auto-tune in their records.
Oh, man.
And that's one of the ways he made money.
Oh, my goodness. I feel the T-Pain.
Yeah.
When I hear that shit. Yeah.
He's such a teabag.
He should change his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never experimented with anything like auto-tune or anything like that. So
like it would be fun for like an intro to something,
maybe,
but just to make it experimental. But it would have to be just like, oh, I'm playing with effects just to mess around.
Yeah, and you got a lot of guys now and girls too, like doing the pop star thing. They've got to be the quote-unquote triple threat, right?
Yeah.
Where they can act, they can sing, and they can dance, right? So if they're lip-syncing and it's auto-tuned or whatever, it's not really surprising because, you know, to dance like they do on stage live, you know, you can't really sing properly and, you know, dance and strut around and all that kind of stuff the way they do, you know, at the same time. So when you get these recordings out there of somebody like Britney Spears, and it's like, oh my God, Britney Spears can't really sing, blah, 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 right? Well, first of all, that's not really that surprising.
Yeah.
You know, but also secondly, you look at the type of moves and stuff like that those people are doing when they put on their shows. And yeah, of course they've got a backing track going for the vocals.
Salt and Pepper got caught way back in the day.
Yeah, because you can't be dancing like that and still have enough, you know, oxygen to really belt it like they do, you know. So that's why Adele basically just stands there when she does her shows. She doesn't strut around the stage and sing her songs. It's just, you know, a piano or a very like little band type of situation, and she just sort of stands there and sings because that's all you can really do if you're really singing.
Yeah, and the average consumer, I think, just doesn't really get that, like, oh, when I'm going to a live concert, it's not gonna sound like this album.
Of course, yeah.
It's just like they're not in the same space. Like,
yeah.
The singer
it's live.
Yeah.
Period. You know,
It's
so
live.
I mean, you can't. Whereas the album has been like they're in the studio. They're gonna do it till it sounds right.
Yeah.
You know, and then not to mention all the editing and everything that goes into it after the fact too. Whereas they're up on stage and they're live, anything can happen, right?
And it's usually always faster.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah,
just like 10 beats per minute faster at least.
yeah, yeah.
Because, I don't know, more energy. Maybe the band's ripped.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Combination of the two. You know, high on adrenaline and whatever else they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember having fun back in the day with that.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's like, you're playing really well right now. I'm really focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were playing, it was like me and a couple friends, like, trying to blow for the first time, and then we were playing Tweeter and the Monkey Man, and just, like, kind of playing just, like, a minor pentatonic scale over that, but, like, really, really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was, like, a rainy night.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, my parents were around, so I had to, like, go downstairs while I was just kind of really fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just smoke really fast and like play guitar really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right on.
But those days are over. Now
Yeah.
it's just I drink too much and smoke a lot of weed, but whatever.
Whatever, man. Who doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
Especially the drink too much thing.
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with like some of the YouTube videos that I want to make.
Yeah.
Like Jeff is just really open to making some cool cocktail videos.
Oh, yeah.
It'll kind of push him forward.
Yeah.
And like I could show you my cocktail set. Like I
Cool.
just try to collect everything I can cocktail, and
Yeah.
I always like go over there and pick his brain with like a notebook. I'm like, what
Cool.
would you do with this?
Cool.
He's
Cool.
like, half ounce less of this, just try it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, that's all right. That's a good way to do it. More like a connoisseur
Yeah.
type of thing than just like, "Wah," you know.
Yeah, it's not just Budweiser.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I had my time doing trying out cocaine and all that kind of stuff too, and you know, it was fun while it lasted, but you know, you gotta give it up sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's only so much the body can take, like,
totally.
and the guys that carry on with for even 10 years, they end up getting heart attacks.
Oh my
later
goodness.
on.
That's what happened actually. It was like it wasn't even anything I consciously stopped doing. It was that the people I was doing it with, some of them just got way in over their head, like too far into it, and they just were like, it was their thing now, you know, and I just wasn't gonna be a part of that anymore. It wasn't even a conscious decision. It was just the way their lifestyle went, you know, just
Yeah.
that's how it sort of petered out. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of how I went with like the rave scene
Yeah.
and stuff, because that's what really got me into doing like the drugs, and then getting out of it, it was just like seeing those people I
Yeah.
was hanging out with just continue on like down
Totally.
that path. Now that's just, I see some of them are moving back into town. It's kind of nice to see them like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm like going to school now for this, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like awesome.
Yeah, that's way better. Yeah,
Yeah.
Luckily, the people that I was hanging with that were, you know, took it way too far and ended up, you know, living in their cars for a while or something like that.
Yeah.
They turned it all around, you know, and now they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a smaller demographic that really
That keeps going
keeps going
to
and
the bitter end. Yeah.
like ends up living in a tent or something.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
which is really sad, because
It's out of their control, I think, at that point almost. It's like if you're at that stage and you can't step back and be like from yourself and go, holy fuck, I'm really getting in my own way here, you know, then that's I think part of it can cause mental illness, you know what I mean, with people. I think, and that's part of the reason why you see folks in that way, you know, that just cannot give it up.
Yeah, I have like a friend going through that kind of stuff too, and it's just so heartbreaking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or even just walking, because I walk to work every day.
Yeah.
And go down the tracks, and I take the tracks every day just because it's quieter.
Yeah.
But it's just garbage and stuff, and then there might be a guy like passed out, and he just has his jacket over him. It's like,
man,
just so like the humidity in the air, just like from the rain.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck, I feel so bad for you.
I know, eh?
It breaks my heart every time.
Yeah.
The garbage is crazy down there right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Down on the tracks, the train tracks. Crazy. Yeah. I know, I see them. I see people hanging out now. Since they got rid of the mound, there's like some trees and stuff like that sort of on the edge of the parking lot, and you see people congregating there now that used to just go up to the mound and they drink or do whatever, do their thing, and it's like the same. It's a small town, right? So you see these folks, and it's like year after year, you know, you see them trapped in that cycle of alcoholism or whatever it is. And it's too bad.
Yeah, it's like I've been close to there, and just like kind of, luckily it's like I had people around, and they're like, hey,
yeah,
you gotta smarten up.
Yeah,
you don't need to do this all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, well, what if I just take acid like once a month?
yeah.
Like,
I don't have to be Sid Barrett here, you know. Put it in my coffee every morning or something like that. Yeah.
Because, well, I like, I guess on the record, I'd probably, like, if it was round, I'd be inclined to do it if I had a couple days off. But just to go inward and then kind of, because I used to love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just reading philosophy or playing music and just.
It's it's fun stuff.
Especially with music, there's something about, like, I guess more so the organic stuff.
Yeah.
Than chemically or anything like that. But music it brightens it up. And if you know your scales and your theory and stuff, you can just kind of play through everything.
Oh, yeah. You got that whole vocabulary of music to play with, right?
Yeah, you don't completely forget to speak if you're...
Yeah. No, I've done it a few times. Not that many, but I enjoyed it. That was for sure. It was I unfortunately wasn't in a situation where I could, jam out and play any music or whatever. But I even found just socially, it was a lot of fun. And mushrooms too. I find that as well for me personally. They're great. It really brings me at least out of my shell, and can say stuff and express things that maybe you've been bottling up, you know what I mean, for a while, and you can, and I just finally put it out there. I kind of speak more honestly, more bluntly. Yeah. I
had a friend who was...
Inhibitions just drop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on it, and he just started, like, crying. He's like, I've been such an asshole.
Oh, no.
And it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, man. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
He was, like... But he realized it, because he was just, like, looking inward.
Yeah.
There's other ways you can get to that, too, like meditation.
Yeah, you don't have to do...
Going for a walk and just thinking about things.
Yeah. Pretty much will do that. Yeah, you're like, oh, man, I've been an asshole. Holy... And, I find, too, a lot of folks, when you are, like, on something like that, they are... And you do say, you really speak your mind to somebody... If you are, like, harsh or whatever, like, you've got something you've been meaning to say to somebody or whatever, and maybe it's, like, not from the nicest place or something like that, they're fairly, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but fairly dismissive, because they're like, oh, you're ripped right now, so we'll just whatever, buddy. It's all good. Yeah.
I know what you mean, but you still want to be like, but you don't understand.
You don't understand. You're a dick. Like, I'm telling you this for your own good.
Yeah.
Admit it. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. And then what, though? It's like, oh, now who's, being the dick, right? I don't know.
It depends on how you see it, but as long as you don't get stuck in that kind of place.
Yeah, it's like, look, we just agree we're both dicks, and that's the end of it, Yeah.
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 Even just, I get that sometimes, just walk, like, everyday life, just, you get into a little argument with someone, and it'll just
totally escalate.
Grind into your ribs, like, all day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, man. Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna relax.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully that'll happen less and less as life goes on.
Yeah, don't hold a grudge, right?
Yeah.
And that's what people say. Yeah.
It's hard not to, but,
Yeah, I know what you mean, for sure. And you get folks that are always like, oh, well, that person who treated you like crap, like, just know that, they're in a bad place and they, they feel bad themselves. That's why they treat other people like that. And it's like, yeah, but I still want to smack them in the mouth. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah, sometimes I deserve a smack in the mouth, too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it goes both ways, right, at certain times. But, somebody wrongs you or whatever, I find it personally pretty hard to just kind of go, oh, okay, well, they're suffering their own thing, right? And, me being harsh to them is just going to make it worse or something like that. It's just kind of like, I don't know, hippie garbage. But,
I know. It's not too much of hippie garbage. I always think, like, I could be in, like, that exact same place if I had, like, their parents and, like, this
if you know their story sometimes.
It's just like, ooh.
Yeah, if you know their story a little bit, too, or you find out later on or something like that, this is why they are the way they are towards people. And be like, oh, okay, a little more understanding, but still.
Yeah, there's one guy around town who I don't really see him around much, like older native dude, but it's just like I heard he saw him, like his dad, like hang himself or something, and it was just like, and it's just like, that's brutal. Okay, I see why he's kind of like really kind of distant from like everything and everyone.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff will mess you up.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, and of course, being like a poor native dude, he probably couldn't afford like the therapy or counseling or anything. Yeah,
exactly.
But how much can that do?
Yeah, well, with something like that, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how. But, how much, you can talk about it and analyze it and whatnot with a doctor, psychologist, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not going to change the fact that it happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily, luckily that I haven't had like a crazy childhood like that. Like, parents are still together and everything.
That's cool. Yeah. Same here. I didn't have nothing like that happen to me.
Yeah.
So,
like, sometimes the people that have like some really crazy stuff happen and get through it, and then you notice they're like the most amazing people ever.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap.
It seems to be like there's two outcomes for those situations. You either get people who come out of it and they end up being, extremely compassionate to others, and very understanding because they've been through trauma themselves or whatever. Or you get, like you say, people who are just really distant and detached from other people and are, basically they can be a little bit maybe apathetic, to the feelings of others or something like that. Or they're just so, they've been so traumatized and so scarred that part of their mind just, they couldn't, Yeah, they're just so they can't. I'm having a hard time putting it into words, but they they can't move on from their own feelings and their own emotions to relate to others. Basically, I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that definitely. It's just hard to relate to others sometimes.
And it's not a selfish thing or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's like, you seen your dad, hang yourself or something, hang himself, then, that's something that, is maybe, it's stuck in there. And that, all those emotions that come along with that are unresolved, basically.
Yeah.
And,
Well, and if it's something like depression that could be genetic, genetically passed down, which adds to that. And it's just like, I hate to go back to even the drug thing, but it's just like, that's why certain people,
totally,
schizophrenia runs in your family, you just should not even go close to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's just a scary thing.
Self-medicating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a hazard, for sure.
But I'm also more afraid of, like, whatever the doctor could prescribe more so.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even certain antibiotics. It's just like, do I need this?
Yeah.
Sometimes, if you do, like, take them.
Yeah.
And take all of them.
Yeah, finish them. Do the whole thing. Yeah.
Like, that makes sense, so then it doesn't become antibiotic resistant strain, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But
antipsychotics, though, and the drugs that are basically used to correct mental illness, they can have the opposite effects.
Yeah.
Even the drugs people take to quit smoking and stuff like that can have some brutal side effects.
Yeah.
Cause psychotic episodes. That's not even something that you have to find out for yourself or whatever. It says it right on the package. Could cause psychotic episodes or whatever. AKA...
Yeah, in the commercial, too. And it's just like...
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, they say it really fast. That's their legal out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a cool video I watched with, like, this guy from the 80s. It was, like, an old 80s video. Mm-hmm. And he was, like, the fastest speaker in the world. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he read the lyrics to Michael Jackson's Beat It in just maybe a minute tops.
Yeah.
But he would be the guy to do that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And it might be depression, this, diarrhea, like...
Yeah, cause your eyeballs to explode, whatever. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, just yellowing of all of your skin.
Yeah. May cause spontaneous human combustion. What? What the heck was that? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the spontaneous combustion thing, like, I used to really believe in, like, that actually being a thing is just like, what would cause that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, like, I'm not sure if it's all a mystery, and like it who knows?
How do people spontaneously combust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's those documentaries and those shows where it's just like, no way.
Yeah.
Like, just the person.
Yeah. Oh, they walk in and there was the easy chair with the corpse burned, and everything around them, is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I have never heard. I don't know what any of the explanations are, the theories, that people have come up with for supposed spontaneous human combustion, and how do we know it was even spontaneous? Maybe it was methodical human combustion.
Yeah, just something in their pocket that lit, like, their really flammable pants on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But do you believe in any, like, spiritual-y type stuff, or...
I'm pretty agnostic about that kind of thing. I don't totally dismiss it, just because I've never experienced anything, paranormal or whatever. or weird like that doesn't mean that it's not a possibility.
Yeah.
That's the way I like to look at it.
Like, I always see that kind of stuff out there, but, like, on TV.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
like, stories here and there, but you're like, it's not happened to me. I'm going to
That's
take
right.
it.
Yeah.
Just like the Bible, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, you
Yeah.
know? Like, I don't personally I've never personally had any kind of experiences with seeing ghosts or anything like that. But I've been at parties and, you know, the conversation has come up about spirits and ghosts and all that kind of stuff. And there's people who, you know, oh, no, this happened to me and it was, you know, totally real and it couldn't have been anything else. That's exactly what it was. And whatever, you know, who knows?
Who were we to say?
Exactly. You know, I wasn't there, you know, so maybe it was weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Kendall's mom does like the tarot reading, like Erin.
Yeah.
Which awesome. She's like really intuitive as far as like reading people, and like I honestly like she believes in that stuff, and to a degree I kind of believe her too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna knock anyone for what they believe or don't believe.
Of course, yeah.
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 It's
I don't know. And the thing about tarot cards is like, you know, you got people that do it that are really intuitive, but supposedly the cards that come up are random. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not like, oh, this person is coming by for a tarot reading. Well, I'm going to sort of analyze them, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to put the cards in a predetermined order that, you know, in the other, I don't know about tarot cards, like, you know, but I think another thing with stuff like that is it's kind of like people who talk to spirits, you know, for other folks. It's one of those things that it's open to the listener's interpretation.
Yeah.
So you put the card down, and it doesn't matter what card it is, they're going to orient it somehow to something that's happening in their life, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not to knock tarot cards or anything like that either, because, I mean, that could be totally, like, a real thing, you know?
I honestly don't have anything against them, because it helps people go through their stuff.
That's right.
Like, kind of think about things maybe in a different way too.
And if, you know, going to somebody who's a, you know, spiritual psychic and they can talk to the dead or whatever, brings people closure with an unexpected death or something like that, because they can contact the spirit world and, you know, relay messages and things like that to the person who's suffering, and it relieves it for them, then awesome, you know? Yeah.
There was some HBO documentary I watched. I can't even remember the name of it, but there was like a town of spiritual mediums.
Oh, cool.
And it's like they all seemed like such nice people either way. It was kind of weird that it was like they had their own church thing. Yeah. And stuff like that. But then there was like they showed the Christians get really mad and picketing and stuff. And it's like, don't let your fantasy interrupt their fantasy. Like,
exactly.
Who am I to say it's fantasy? But that's just kind of what I thought when I saw it.
Yeah.
And like,
it's harmless, really, too. That's the other thing is like, okay, maybe it's not what you guys want to believe, and you think it's like, you know, conjuring spirits or somehow it's demonic or something like that. Well, fine, you know, just stay home. Like, though, like, you don't really, you know, like, that's, people can have their beliefs, whether they're for good or whatever, religious, or even, you know, even if they're bigoted or something like that, right? It's like that person is allowed to feel that way. Just, you know, but you see, you know, a couple, like a gay couple or something, holding hands, walking down the street. Instead of yelling some freaking derogatory thing out your window, just leave them alone, you know?
Yeah.
You can judge that and, you know, have your prejudice and things like that all you want, but you're not going to change anyone's mind about how they feel, you know? And so it's pointless. You might as well just keep it to yourself.
Because you're just pissing into the wind otherwise.
You are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially with the gay folks. I love the gays.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like,
and it's like, it's harmless. Like, really, what do you care?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Like Jamie Gibb.
Yep.
Been friends with him for years.
Yeah.
And when he came out, I was just like so happy. I'm like, oh my God, it's like about time.
Yeah, exactly. It's yeah.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome guy.
Yeah. And his boyfriend is super sweet, like a really nice guy.
Yeah. Right on. I've never met him, but I know Jamie, and yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Yeah. Jamie's
just been like an installment of Duncan forever.
I know, totally.
Now he's all he threw like so many raves and stuff, and he's a great promoter of anything.
And I mean, well, he's so friendly, and you know what I mean, like, and likable. You know, I mean, who could say no? You know, to any kind of promotion scheme he might have going, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when him and we were throwing parties in the Funky Bubble Cafe.
Oh, cool. Like, I remember that place.
Yeah, and it was like, it was once in a while, like once a month, and then it ended up being every week, and we saturated the market, but... Yeah. Either way, it was just so much fun. Like, we rented, like, turntables and a mixer and CDJs and like a whole PA system, and just pretty much had it permanently set up in there.
That's wicked. That's wicked. Have you seen Long John's new thing? Speaking of the Funky Bubble, I know that, like, he's got the showroom upstairs.
Yeah.
But now he's opened up another venue downstairs at ground level. I think there used to be like a children's consignment store. Yeah,
that's what it used to. I peered in the window when like I was like, oh, they're closing it, and then I saw like the one sheet of paper ripped off, and it looked really cool in there.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cold, I'm not gonna lie, in there.
It'll probably be nice in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a nice venue though. It's good to have somewhere people can come and dance in Duncan too. You know.
Yeah.
And enjoy the music.
Actually, I should get in touch with Long John about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's doing a thing there, Family Sock Hop, and but it's all pre-recorded stuff. People bring their own music down, type of thing, plug it into the sound system, and but I think it'd be cool to get some live music going on for that. You know, get some bands in there or DJs. You know, be a perfect thing for DJs. Yeah, DJs would be really cool. Even just recording a quick live podcast in there. Yeah. But I'd like to get dynamic microphones, especially for that. I wonder if he might even have some there. You never know. Yeah.
Because that would be actually really fun and kind of a cool way to support like the local music scene.
Yeah. You could promote it too simultaneously.
Like, some people love or hate Long John.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't interacted with him too much other than he's been a really nice guy to me.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I take whatever people's stories and I'm like, fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I've known Long John since I was a kid, like a little kid, because he's friends with my dad. So, I mean, I grew up with Long John, basically. And, I've got a good rapport with him. I mean, I've had situations where he's sort of exploded on me and it's kind of out of left field or whatever. But shake it off. You know, I'm not going to hold on to it like, because he did that once.
Oh, he's human.
You know, exactly. Yeah. And it probably wasn't even about, about me or anything like that. It was just a bad day for him, so.
And he puts like so much of his time and like all of his expendable income into supporting the local scene, like that 39 days of summer thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
I love it.
Yeah, it's like, so great.
That's one thing that you don't see anywhere else.
No, it's so much fun too.
Yeah.
To play at that, where you got the whole stage set up right downtown, at the park there. It's an awesome time.
Yeah, if I work something out, like maybe a 20-minute something where it's just like I incorporate some live lead guitar or something over top of some hip hop tracks.
Yeah.
Then it would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I would find it acceptable to play it. Like otherwise I'd rather have it just like all for musicians and singers and things like that.
People playing guitars and stuff like that.
Like the whole hosting musicians and like just trying to bring them in, get them trying to perform on like actual sound systems, not just through like an amp here and an amp here. Yeah. It's kind of cool. I like that kind of stuff. I'd love to get into just supporting musicians in that way, but I don't have the venue for it yet.
And it's growing too. You know, every year you see more and more people. I think word is definitely spread around the valley for sure. And I mean, I was in Vancouver and I was telling people about it because it was going on there. And they were like, wow, 39 days. Oh, that's so cool. So he has live music for 39 days. They couldn't believe it, you know, because they were just like, wow, apparently it's like the longest running, you know, music festival or something like that.
Yeah, completely free.
Yeah, totally free. Yeah.
Yeah, it just sucks that I work full time and I have to like make it home, and then I'll stop at the store and then I'll catch like one or two people sets. Yeah. And then have to go cook dinner and be an adult, but adulting. Oh my god. Yeah. So overrated. It's like I forgot to take out the compost.
Yeah.
Oh crap. I'm sharing the studio with the cat, and I got to deal with that soon.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mom. Oh yeah, that's right. You don't live here. Yeah.
Thank God. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword, adulting. You know, being an adult.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. Like, it just like pictured me being in my parents' basement or something, trying to record a podcast like we are now. Yeah. And then having my mom yell down the stairs like, Dustin!
Oh, totally. Dinner! Yeah.
It's like, Mom, I'm recording.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't take that seriously, you know? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Luckily, my parents were always pretty supportive of everything. Like,
yeah.
I wish I got into drumming and stuff when I was younger, but my parents were like, no, you can't turn drums off. Yeah. We're going to get you an electric and a little amp to start. And I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Yeah. And it just kind of progressed from there. Cool. But if I learned drums first, it would have made me understand like the structure of music better, I guess.
That was the first instrument I learned to play, was the drums.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's the only instrument that I actually went and got music lessons for at Duncan Music, was to learn how to play the drums. I'm glad I did, you know.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
Like, more than just kick, snare.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, you can play like the guy from AC/DC all day, but it's not I guess they got him far, but it's not really fun that way.
Yeah. No, it's good too, because it's not just it's not just teaching you the rhythm and how all that works, but it's giving you the independence as well, because you've got your hands and your feet all doing something different at different times, right? And then you can take that skill and you can take it to guitar or something like that, and you've already got the whole keeping rhythm with one hand while doing the chords, you know, or whatever lead with the other. Yeah. You know, you've already learned that independence, and then it's just a matter of muscle memory of, you know, where the fingers go and things like that. Or piano, you know, it's a good instrument for that too, because your hands are always doing two different things, one for bass, one for melody. Yeah.
Yeah, piano I wish I learned when I was younger too.
Holy man, that is such a cool instrument when people know what they're doing.
Yeah, my grandma was an awesome piano player and stuff. Yeah. Like a church piano player pretty much, but she could play like all sorts of old swing too.
Yeah.
And my parents were like, you could learn from your grandma, or you could go and take like electric guitar.
Yeah.
Take lessons from Duncan Music and like, oh, I'll take the guitar.
Yeah.
Dummy.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like a little bit more transferable.
Yeah.
To the guitar, and then it would have added like so much more understanding.
Yeah. Totally. Oh well.
I had to learn sheet music the hard way.
Yeah.
Or the harder way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I sort of can read music a little bit, but not very well at all. I'm more just an ad lib kind of guy. I like to jam, so yeah.
I find it's cool for songbooks or something, like when bands put out songbooks.
Yeah.
Because it's verbatim what they played.
Yeah.
But like you can find stuff online for guitar tabs and.
Oh yeah, totally.
Have you? What's that program? I'm trying to think of it. Shit.
I don't know.
There's Guitar Pro.
Okay.
I think that's the program.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can actually build your own guitar tracks with it's like a MIDI 16-bit sound.
Yeah.
Or at least the older versions, where now it's probably like way more advanced.
Yeah.
But it's really cool because you can compose everything and transcribe that guitar part into like what it would be on a piano.
That's really cool.
And then you just like, oh, so if I played it like this here, then it'll show up with keys on your screen even.
That's really cool.
If you don't know how to like do a certain way.
I think with Logic Pro too, I'm not certain about this, but I'm pretty sure I think you can get it like to print out the actual music, like notation, right? So you can make like a song sheet, have like the music sheet going. So if you compose something on Logic, you print it out and take it to musicians and be like, if they know how to sight read or something like that.
That's cool.
They could, play the song verbatim, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's where technology is really getting interesting. Like, I'm still probably gonna get like a lot of the effect stuff and mic preamps and things like that. So then, because I'm a stickler for just quality sound. Yeah. And I don't want to sacrifice quality sound for just like a plug-in on my computer more so, but I'll probably end up doing something like I totally lost my train of thought just because I was like, oh, I'll get that. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this compressor. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, there's some gear that I need to get, or I'd like to get, I should say, for the laptop, because I've been doing a lot more work with that, making beats and things like that. And I find the only thing I can't do is the vocals, right? I need to get a little firebox or something like that.
These are really good.
Yeah.
The Focusrite, like the preamps in it, like the internet goes crazy. They're like these or the PreSonus ones. Yeah. I think the M Audio ones are probably pretty good. Okay. If you ever need to borrow this, I guess if you have a Mac, so you can just plug and play. Yeah, you don't even have to worry about the latency settings because this has like weird drivers and shit because it's Windows. Yeah. So it was like way more complicated. Because I was looking up the how-to videos online and everyone was using Mac and it was just like, oh, you just plug it in and
it goes.
Yeah. But if you ever wanted to record vocals in that skinny studio booth, you're always welcome. And we can always just run the laptop outside, so then it's just like the mic and the singer
in the room there. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that way you don't have the fan noise.
Yeah, where did you pick that one up at?
Along McQuaid.
Yeah, that's the spot to go. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Duncan Music has nothing.
No. I want to grab myself a little a PA system too. Yeah. Because I want to, like you, I want to kind of get back into doing open mics and stuff like that, And I find it's kind of like you can get people, you can get a venue and they want, oh yeah, we want to do an open mic, and then you got to get a hold of a sound system, you know, somehow. It's kind of like, well, you know,
Yeah.
you might as well just have that person who has the sound system.
Well, if you ever want to collaborate,
Yeah.
like open mic stuff, I know that we're never ever gonna make money.
No,
but
that's
just
not the
like,
point.
That's the point. The point is like getting
people out there.
And just like getting a local music scene started again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's like 2 bands that really perform at all the bars in town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot more than that. You know, I mean, I was at a party last weekend, and there was an awesome band playing at this house party that I was at. I mean, Reed Williams played, and
he's
like
great.
it was wicked, you know. But I've seen him play lots of times. These other guys I'd never heard before. I don't even know what they're called. They were wicked though. They were great. Yeah.
Just jamming out.
And the singer had a range, like he could sing like low and he could get real high. And he had this thing when he'd get really high, he'd sound like Roger Waters from Pink Floyd or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool, really cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting I'd have to get a better amp for my PV, like stage monitors.
Yeah.
But I got the 800 watt sub there, and then like I'm 1 amp away, which I'm gonna get there soon. For having just like an insane outdoor open mic setup.
Yeah.
If I wanted, where the sound could carry and carry and carry.
Because I mean, the last few times I've been putting on shows, they've been hip hop shows.
Yeah.
Right. But it would be really fun to get back into be putting on shows where even if, you know, I'm not playing at them or whatever, just getting bands out there and getting them heard, like, you know, the one I was just talking about, because you hear people and you're like, man, you gotta turn people onto this.
Yeah.
You know, because it's cool and they need to hear this, right? And it's always fun to be able to put something together that, you know, you can get these bands out there.
Yeah, that's where I liked that Lara's grand opening for the Spinning Ninny.
Yeah.
She had like I've seen you play with the guy before, really short, like kind of a buzz cut hair, plays acoustic guitar.
Okay.
Always
Randy.
has one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great guitar player.
Oh,
he was playing with these bluegrass type of people.
Yeah.
And they were jamming. I was having fun. I was learning how to scratch
Yeah.
at the time. And I was just like playing around with that and some of the samples I had.
Cool.
And it was so much fun. And I love doing that. And I'd love to get that kind of stuff started.
Yeah.
Like the weather permitting, I'd love to do more stuff like that outside on sunny days.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Get the sunburn, look like a piece of leather after. I don't really care. It would be worth it.
I think it would be cool too, like when the 39 Days of July are going on, it would be fun to work something out with Long John that, you know, where you could do something at the Spinning Ninny, you know, because it's like, it's right there, you know, and so you're not really stepping on anybody's toes or anything like that, and just have like that going on right there. And so, you know, it's sort of, I think it would be cool to have the 39 Days of July sort of open up so you have a few different stages people can check out.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the downtown main stage thing.
Yeah,
too.
he does that one too. Yeah.
But yeah, quite often it's like completely unused, or one's kind of in use and the other one's empty.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, may as well like bring our system out, so then you have extra stuff there, and then the people who want to just kind of play or sing or tell a joke.
Yeah, like an open stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, where nobody's really scheduled or whatever, just everything's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, just talk to Long John, I guess, and figure it out.
I'm sure he'd be open to it.
Yeah.
It's like, as long as he's, well, I'm sure even if we needed to borrow like a mixer or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you'd be open to it.
As long as it's done collaboratively, you
Yeah.
know, and you don't just set up across the street and,
Yeah.
you know, hey, when this is over, you know, we start up or something like that. It's just kind of like, well, that's not really the best way to do it, you know, because, I mean, I've promoted stuff at the market before, and Long John had a sandwich board set up with stuff for the showroom that was coming up on there, and I didn't realize it was actually his sandwich board for the showroom. I thought it was just like a public bulletin board thing. And so I put my poster on it for what I was doing, and he sort of called me up later and was like, hey, like, what are you doing? This is not...
Yeah, I paid money for this.
Yeah,
this is my advertising.
It's not cool, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it wasn't even pleading ignorance. It was genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, he's understanding about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't even mad or
Yeah.
anything. It's just sort of like, what are you doing? Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to get going. I just love the idea of just having block parties and things downtown.
Yeah.
Look into government grants eventually.
Well, downtown Duncan is like prime for something like that. You know, everything is sort of right there. It's such a small sort of few blocks, you know. It's perfect. I remember they had when Will Gendeman and his wife Sarah had their restaurant downtown. There's a pad thai place there now, and Noodles of the World, I think it was called. They did a show there out on the street, like a reggae show party thing. It was awesome.
I love that. Like, I went to
so
one
much
reggae
fun.
night there.
Oh yeah, the reggae nights were great. Yeah.
It was super packed in there.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
food was great, and I was just like kind of cramped into a corner, but
Yeah.
it was worth it.
Yeah, it was
Loved it.
a lot of fun. There would be people spilling out the door,
Yeah.
you know, hanging outside and stuff like that. One time we were playing there, and I was emceeing or whatever, and Mika was DJing, and a couple of cops, you know, came through or whatever to get something to eat, and I handed off the mic to one of them, and he just like was like awkward and just sort of yo type of thing, and then out the door or something like that. It was hilarious. Yeah. Yeah.
And some of the cops in Duncan, they're not too bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's when I was even throwing shows at where the garage is, or not the garage, the showroom is now.
Yeah.
It was just like super chill. The cops would come in, just like, what do you got going on?
Yeah,
Just, like,
exactly.
Make sure people get home safe. But
Yeah.
I
think that's about it. As you know, they just gotta check it out, make
Yeah.
sure that everything's on the up and up. You know, but yeah, for the most part, I've never had any problems
yeah,
with the local cops.
no, never.
No.
Because well, only if I'm like causing trouble. But that was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
So they got to do something. They can't just sort of leave it alone. Yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, you see them too, like a lot of policemen with enforcing, you know, the weed thing and stuff like that. They don't even personally have a problem with it. It's just that they're like, I can't just sit in my car and watch you guys have a session, you know, and just like, I've got to come up and say something, you know what I mean? Or take it away or whatever, right? And as long as you're not, you know, a belligerent person, as long as you're not belligerent about it, that's where it ends. You know, you get a bit of a lecture and, you know, maybe you lose your shit at the worst, but that's not that bad.
Yeah, usually, like, if you're actually, like, getting stoned in a huge circle of people and then a cop walks up and you're, like, in a public place, okay, I can understand.
Yeah.
Just, like, I've even had them just be like, all right, somewhere else. Like,
just take it out of here.
Can't you go to one of your friends' houses?
Yeah. It's, like, I mean, I remember being a kid and hanging out at Centennial Park, and that kind of thing would happen. You know, you'd all be in a circle, you know, doing the thing, playing music and smoking weed or whatever, and maybe having some beers or something. And the cops just kind of come up and, you know, guys, come on, you know, like, this isn't, not here, you know, basically. type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good old times. I wonder how much time we're at now.
I have no idea.
I should have looked at the clock
It's been fun,
before
though.
I started.
Yeah.
But it's been, I guess, 2,000. I don't even know how that really works. It's like 2,064 seconds, or
Oh yeah.
No, it couldn't be that because either way.
Well, I don't know. Let's see here. I don't know what time we started at. It's 20 after 1. I know that.
But it's been actually kind of fun.
Totally.
Yeah,
I
I
like
actually
it.
just got to start setting a timer, and because usually like when I've tried to record, we've like just had like a couple people over, and it's like you can hear just beers opening in the background and the bong or something.
Yeah.
Which like, yeah, I don't even care if like the fact that beer drinking and weed smoking is going on, because I want to be comfortable in.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna censor anyone's stuff if they want to like
Yeah.
drink in the middle of the podcast or swear.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm throwing in the explicit, because like, say if you have any tracks,
Yeah.
and if they have swearing, then I can
Put it
always
out there.
put it in there.
Yeah.
Like start or end the show with one of your tracks if you like. No problem.
Cool.
And
Cool.
yeah, but
Well, that's
yeah,
the way to do it too. You know, it makes it better for everybody.
because I was originally planning like a show where I was talking about music and like the history of music, researching cool bands and stuff, but you can't just play licensed music
No.
and get away with it for very long.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like really nice to add like local people stuff. Anyways, like David Bowie doesn't need any more attention.
No.
Like, well, he's dead now.
Yeah.
And he didn't need
And
any
he was
extra
David
attention.
Bowie,
Yeah,
so he didn't. Yeah.
everyone knew who he was.
Yeah.
But it's more about like like the little guys just trying to like support other people. Like, talk to Jeff at the wine bar. I did talk to Reed, actually.
Cool.
Reed Williams, during Kim Yannick, the photographer.
Yeah.
During her thing at the wine bar.
Cool.
I like how they're supporting people like that too.
I know, eh? That's cool. That's like they do the music thing and openings, like art paintings. Yeah. I was there for not even on purpose. I wandered in there. It was like a total accidental thing. And Coco Jones was doing like an art thing there. And it was a great party.
I love Coco too.
Yeah.
And I need to talk to her too.
Yeah.
'Cause she is just like a sweet, amazing lady.
Totally.
And like, yeah, Kendall and her family are just really close with their family.
Yeah.
All of her sons are just really sweet guys. Mm-hmm. They're giants. They're huge. They're jacked, and like,
oh, cool.
it's just like, and Coco's just such a sweet lady, and then her daughter is really nice too.
Yeah.
Looks so much like her.
Yeah. Right on.
But it's just so funny because it's just like her 3 older brothers are like these big, like
Really?
strong. Coco's husband, I guess they met when they were both in the Navy, like Coco in the Navy.
What?
Yeah, Coco was in the Navy.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. And it's just like, this is where I really want to talk to Coco. She's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I just talking to her like dinner party things at Kendall's parents' house.
Yeah.
It's just like, really? You were like at this concert?
I know.
Like, her husband used to do security at like really big giant concerts
Yeah.
and stuff, and like has seen some really cool bands.
Yeah, she's a cool lady for
Yeah.
sure. You know, yeah.
And her artwork's sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things too. It's because I didn't really know her very well, and I kind of was like, oh, you know, just sort of thought she was an artsy person and and you know, because she was quite in with the excellent frameworks people and stuff like that, and you know, sort of the wine drinking sort of downtown business set or whatever. And, you know, you hang around with those people for a little while and you're kind of like, you know, there's a lot of keeping up appearances going on with that crowd, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you meet her like one-on-one or something like that, and you're like, oh wow, this lady actually has a sense of humor.
Yeah,
she's really
hilarious.
cool. Yeah. Outside of that crowd,
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably all like that, you know what I mean? But when people get together sometimes in groups, there's sort of this unspoken, like, oh, we all have to pretend that, we're like this for each other, right?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what you see like in Hollywood or something, say, like, people are like clinging on to these causes, things like that don't really affect, they probably don't even feel one way or the other about it, but yeah, Coco's definitely a genuine lady.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Well, I was just talking about that kind of thing last night with somebody, talking about the whole thing where some industries are really into that hierarchy sort of idea of like the boss and the employee, where people don't get together and they don't socialize, on the weekend or whatever. They don't know anything about their personal lives because they don't want that barrier to break down, where your boss too well and vice versa, because that doesn't keep the social order together.
I try not to converse too much with my bosses or anything
No.
like that. It's weird.
Yeah.
Although, like, I actually got the business loan for getting my gear through my boss.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, I'm at the top of the pay scale. I'm not gonna, I work at Top Shelf and bag feed half the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not gonna do that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But like, you guys are really good people. I'm gonna work for you, but I'm not, like, I'm just going to make sure that I get this going. Like, like
a means to an end kind of thing. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I think that's healthy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of bosses would freak out about that kind of thing. They just, or not be responsive at all about it. Yeah. Which I didn't have to sign a contract. He's just like, work it off when you have time kind of thing.
That's cool.
Doing like cleanup, scraping just shitty sludge and rotten grain. But like,
hey,
it's paying for what I love to do. And I want to support more people that do that too. Yeah. And it's just like, if I could end up doing that kind of stuff, that'd be awesome. Just to like help people out with their, not loan them money. If I could, I would, but just like support people who want to do what they're doing, like taking an hour off, like out of their day after like a long day of work, trying to make something with their hands, make music or watercolors or
totally.
Yeah, that's where the open mic thing.
That's what it's all about.
I'm really stoked on that idea. Yeah. The gears are still turning in my head too. I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, it gets the talent out for sure too, because there's a lot of folks chomping at the bit to play in this valley. I mean, there's a heap of musicians, around here, and they're all eager to get up and do their thing, right? And the thing about open mics that's great is, you keep it nice and casual and laid back, and just make sure everybody gets their time to get up there and do their thing, and you just make it work, right? If you have a lot of people and you have to limit everybody's thing and be like, well, folks, only 3 or 4 songs or whatever, then you just figure out ways to do it,
Yeah, then just
because once they get going, you get people out, and then you have like, you can end up with more people than you have time to.
True, yeah. You might even be like, just one song each, like 3 minutes.
yeah. Which is a great situation. Yeah. Because you've got all these people coming out to do their thing, but and everybody wants to play and hear more than, sometimes people want to hear more than just 3 songs or whatever the person has to offer.
in my perfect world, it would encourage someone else to start up their own open mic. And
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, well, we got our open mic across town. You can go to this one. It's sweet.
Yeah, exactly. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Even if it was like a pay thing, not even an open mic, I'd just be like, you want to do that over there? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Yeah, Coffee on the Moon was a good spot to do it, you know. But, yeah, there's other places. It's nice if you can get an all-ages venue of some kind.
Yeah,
that's
where the garage does.
Yeah.
Or not the garage. Also the garage.
Yeah.
But out back, undercover.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be really cool, actually.
Yeah. Up above?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in that, like, area where you're not supposed to smoke anymore.
Yeah. It's a good spot to go play music, actually.
Yeah.
On a nice day. Yeah, I like to go up there. The guy, Randy, we were talking about earlier, him and I will get together and bring our guitars and we'll go up there and play.
Yeah, because they have the seating.
Yeah.
Undercover, shaded if it's really hot.
Yeah. It's a wicked spot.
Like food and coffee, like downstairs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually even one of my favorite spots to read or like go eat fried chicken.
Yeah.
Like on my way home, I might even just like I'll stop at the liquor store and then I might stop at like get a slice of pizza from Alibaba or something.
Yeah.
Then just like sit down and just enjoy like a beer and a slice of pizza because I'm tired and it's like, oh, I'm hot. It's the summer.
Yeah.
Also, even that Kin Park, like the youth farm place, Kinsman Park.
Kinsman Park? Okay.
Yeah.
Like where the ducks are? That one?
The one that's right beside the high school.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, they really turned that around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool park. And I think they got a community garden in there or something like that, too.
Yeah, with Couch and Green Community. And Kendall was a part of it for a while. But it's, like, waiting on, like, government grants and then a lot of the politics of that. Yeah. And then board members and, like, it's just, like, when you just want to garden.
I know a guy, Roger, who's into teaching people all about, like, what he does is he goes to the schools and he's all about like wild edibles, right? Oh, and he goes and he teaches the kids about like wild edible foods that are just growing out around town, basically, you know, where you can go and find, you know, fruit trees and things like that have been planted. Yeah. And I think that's a really great thing.
I like that.
You know, teaching kids about, you know, how to feed yourself. I know, that's what he's trying to do, is get that into at least into the local curriculum or something.
BT. Rip BT.
So.
Oh yeah, I guess I should probably share the studio with her eventually, as we wrap it up pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah, all the recording, we can always bullshit and have a toke or something.
Sounds great.
Make another pot of coffee.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so I will end up posting your links online.
All right.
Both on like my website, blog stuff, and I got to do the editing and get like, I still haven't gotten the podcast everything done about it. Like, I've gotten some of the show notes written and like it has to do with like ID3 tags and it's like,
okay,
what the hell is all this? Like, is this Wizards?
Yeah.
Like, did a wizard make this?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I'll post that all on there. I guess we're signing out and we're gonna go chill and not record stuff.
All right.
So yeah, I guess if you want to see Unspun Entertainment online, that's unspunentertainment.com. Twitter at Unspun Music and Instagram at Unspun Entertainment. I don't know why I chose Unspun Music and at Unspun Entertainment.
Sounds good to me.
I was just I was just doing that. But it'll be all in the show notes. It'll be all online. Just go to unspunentertainment.com. You can get onto everything. Hit the donate button at the top of the screen. Give me money so then I can record more stuff in my free time and have more free time. Peace.
On the information superhighway, multimedia inundates the mind state, penetrating the subcranial cortex into the virtual reality vortex. Checking out its consumer electronic bliss. It doesn't get much more ignorant than this. System crashes mass communication as civilization's drastically changing. And now we're living in the digital age. Wild for the digital age. Program for the digital age. Glitching in the digital age. Back online, going viral, out of control now, watch spiral. Trapped in the net, there's no escape. Technocrats design a fate in a frantic state, racing like rats. Reformat, try to adapt, habitat under attack. Full speed ahead, no turning back. Science fiction becoming fact. What once was the future is now the past. Blasting off into cyberspace, a point and a click is all it takes to navigate this latest frontier for the escape to the blog sphere. Gotta disconnect, cause I can't believe what a worldwide tangle where we weave. Now we're living in the digital age. Wild for the digital age. Program for the digital age. Glitching in the digital age. Bionic, robotic, automaton, it's all the same. Cybernetically connected to the mainframe. Modernized, behavior patterns modified. Preoccupied, electronically lobotomized. Zombified like a pandemic in the streets. Conversation of the verbal kind is obsolete. Dependency upon technology is on the rise. Assimilated and innovating our own demise. And now we're living in the digital age. We got it. Wild for the digital age. Program for the digital age. Glitching in the